You've felt it, haven't you? The air is heavier, your dreams more vivid, your emotions almost impossible to ignore. This isn't random. The solar eclipse and new moon in Virgo just shook the very foundation of your twin flame journey. The universe is forcing a reset, closing doors you thought would stay open and opening portals you never imagined. The divine feminine is being tested like never before. The masculine can no longer hide, and every sign, every synchronicity, every strange sensation in your body right now is proof that your soul contract is unfolding. Are you ready to see the 7 things Spirit needs you to know today so you don't miss this moment? The solar eclipse is not just a shadow passing across the sky, it is a divine reset button, pressed by the universe itself. For twin flames, eclipses are some of the most intense cosmic alignments because they bring endings, beginnings, and revelation all at once. Think of it as the hand of Spirit reaching into your life, rearranging the pieces you've been trying to hold together, and showing you the truth you've been afraid to face. If you've felt sudden shifts in your energy, changes in relationships, unexpected closures, or even a wave of emotions rising without warning, you are not imagining it. This is how the eclipse works. It pulls away illusion, it collapses false timelines, and it forces you onto the path you were meant to walk. For twin flames, this often means being pulled out of cycles of waiting, denial, or avoidance. What you've been ignoring, you must now face. Eclipses are cosmic wildcards. They reveal what was hidden, but they also cut away what is no longer aligned. If you've noticed people leaving your life, situations ending abruptly, or even opportunities closing, understand this. Spirit is not punishing you. Spirit is clearing space. A garden cannot grow if it is full of weeds. And your twin flame journey cannot evolve if you are still tied to outdated energies. Right now, both the divine feminine and divine masculine are being shaken awake. The feminine may feel this as a surge of clarity and a call to let go of emotional baggage she has carried for too long. The masculine may feel pressure in his external world, finances, career, relationships, as if the foundation beneath him is cracking. These are not random struggles. They are the exact pressure points required to push both into alignment. Think about the symbolism of an eclipse. For a moment, the sun, the source of clarity and light, is blocked. Darkness covers the sky. Yet in that darkness, truth is revealed. This mirrors the twin flame path. Sometimes you're forced into moments of shadow, confusion, or silence from your counterpart. But it is in the silence that the soul speaks the loudest. It is in the shadow that hidden truths finally rise. This eclipse energy is not only personal, it's collective. The entire twin flame grid is being recalibrated. If you are highly sensitive, you may feel like you're carrying emotions that aren't even yours. Sudden waves of sadness, anxiety, or longing could wash over you. These are not random moods. They are echoes of the reset, moving through the collective field. Spirit is aligning thousands of pairs at once, shifting timelines so that unions happen when they are divinely appointed. Some of you may even feel resistance right now. A part of you wants to hold on to the old life, the old patterns, the old stories you've told yourself. But the more you cling, the more painful the process becomes. The eclipse is teaching surrender. It is saying, let go. Stop resisting. The new cannot enter if your hands are full of the old. Ask yourself, what has crumbled in your life over these last days or weeks? What truth has been revealed that you didn't want to see? That is your personal eclipse. That is the shadow unveiling what was hidden. The beautiful part of this energy is that it doesn't only destroy, it also creates. Every ending right now is tied to a new beginning you may not yet see. The portal of the eclipse is like a cosmic doorway. One chapter closes, but immediately another is written. And if you are attuned, you can walk through with awareness, rather than being dragged through in resistance. So breathe, ground yourself, let the shifts happen. Trust that nothing is leaving your life without a higher reason. Spirit is not chaotic. Spirit is precise. And this reset, no matter how sudden or uncomfortable, is bringing you into alignment with your highest path and ultimately with your counterpart. This is the first lesson of the eclipse. Stop fearing the reset. It is not here to destroy you. It is here to deliver you to your destiny. If the eclipse is the cosmic reset button, then the new moon in Virgo is the blueprint that follows. Virgo energy is precise, detailed, and uncompromising when it comes to truth and alignment. It doesn't tolerate chaos. It doesn't allow illusions to continue unchecked. Under this Virgo new moon, every twin flame is being called to examine the foundation of their journey, not from a place of fantasy, but from clarity, order, and truth. Think about Virgo's essence. It is the sign of healing, purification, and service. It asks, what in your life is not in order? Where are you deceiving yourself? Where are you still tolerating less than what you deserve? For twin flames, this energy strikes deeply because it shines a spotlight on every pattern, every cycle, every half-truth that has been allowed to linger. For the divine feminine, Virgo's influence feels like a deep inner cleaning. She may feel the urge to finally let go of emotional baggage, to set clearer boundaries, to organize her life in a way that reflects self-respect. This isn't about control, it's about discernment. Virgo whispers, you cannot carry disorganization, chaos, and self-neglect into union. Clean your house, and the universe will send your counterpart to your door. For the divine masculine, Virgo's energy is less about emotion and more about structure. It brings pressure in his outer world. His responsibilities, his work, his sense of stability. Many masculines may feel exposed, like the mask they've worn is crumbling. Virgo strips away the illusion of control and demands truth. Are you living in integrity? Are you building a life that your soul actually aligns with, or are you still hiding behind roles and obligations? And here lies the challenge. Virgo energy does not allow shortcuts. It forces both counterparts to take responsibility. This is not the dreamy, romantic part of the twin flame path. This is the sober truth. It is the moment when Spirit says, union cannot be built on shaky ground. Everything false must collapse. That's why many of you may feel like life is pushing you into uncomfortable realizations. Maybe you're noticing habits that drain you. Maybe relationships you once tolerated suddenly feel unbearable. Maybe you're looking at your career, your health, or your daily routine with fresh eyes, realizing how much doesn't match the person you are becoming. This is Virgo's medicine. It is tough love. It is not here to comfort you. It is here to align you. But don't mistake Virgo's clarity for cruelty. This energy is healing in its essence. It doesn't strip you bare to punish you. It strips you bare so that you can stand in your truth without distortion. It is like a healer cutting away infection so that true recovery can begin. Painful, yes. Necessary, absolutely. This new moon also brings the energy of new beginnings, but not just any beginnings. Virgo beginnings are intentional. They are not rushed. They are grounded in wisdom and foresight. If you feel the urge to set new intentions now, Spirit is encouraging you to do so, but only from truth. No illusions, no wishful thinking. What do you really want your life and your union to look like? What are you willing to release to make space for it? Virgo asks for spiritual maturity. It calls for integrity, not fantasy. It reminds us that the twin flame journey is not just about longing for union. It's about becoming whole, honest, and aligned within ourselves first. Without that, union cannot hold. So take this as your invitation. Journal. Meditate. Look at your patterns without judgment, but with honesty. Ask yourself, where am I still out of alignment with my higher self? What am I clinging to that Spirit has already asked me to release? What illusions about my counterpart or myself am I ready to surrender? Because Virgo does not lie, and under this influence, neither can you. The call of Virgo is clear. Anchor order, anchor truth, anchor alignment. Only then can the love you seek be stable enough to last. When an eclipse opens a portal, it does not only affect the physical world, but also the inner landscape of the soul. For the divine feminine, this moment is one of the most demanding seasons of her journey. The energy asks her to rise, not by waiting for the masculine to awaken, but by passing through her own spiritual tests with strength, grace, and wisdom. The feminine has always carried the flame of intuition, the silent knowing that guides her even when the outer world seems to collapse. Yet this time, the pressure is different. It is heavier, more personal, almost unbearable at moments. She is being asked to release the final remnants of her illusions, the hidden attachments to outcomes, and the subtle ways she still tries to control how this journey unfolds. Many feminines feel this through intense emotions. One moment, there is a sense of peace, the next, a storm of grief, anger, or longing that seems to appear without explanation. These waves are not punishment. They are purification. They come to the surface because the soul is no longer willing to carry what is heavy. Every tear shed now is a form of release. Every sleepless night is a doorway into deeper clarity. The universe is forcing the feminine to stop seeking confirmation outside of herself and to anchor the truth within. The test of the feminine is not only emotional but also spiritual. She is being called to trust in the unseen like never before. Silence from her counterpart is louder than words. Signs and synchronicities appear at the exact moment she doubts her path. The challenge is whether she will fall back into fear or allow faith to guide her. This season demands surrender to divine timing, even when the waiting feels endless, even when nothing in the physical seems to support what her heart knows. Another layer of this test is boundaries. The feminine is often tempted to give more than she receives, to overextend in love, to keep the flame alive even when the masculine withdraws. But under the eclipse, she is asked to stand firm, to love without self-betrayal, to hold space without losing herself. This is the evolution of the feminine. From longing to embodiment, from chasing to attracting, from carrying the whole weight of the connection to realizing that she is not meant to do both journeys alone. The feminine is also experiencing physical manifestations of this energetic test. Many are feeling exhaustion, headaches, body aches, or a sudden need to retreat from social life. Dreams may be vivid, sometimes even disturbing, carrying messages from the subconscious or directly from the soul of her counterpart. These symptoms are signs of recalibration. The body itself is being tuned to hold more light, more awareness, more truth. Spirit's intention here is not to break her, but to strengthen her, to prove that her power is not fragile, that her heart is not dependent on the masculine's choices, that her alignment is her own responsibility. This is the moment when the feminine realizes she has always been the anchor of this connection. Not because she must suffer endlessly, but because her healing creates the field in which union becomes possible. Every test she passes now is not just for herself, but for the entire connection. Each time she chooses faith over fear, release over control, truth over illusion, she shifts the vibration of the journey itself. She becomes the living embodiment of the union energy she longs for. And in that embodiment, she becomes irresistible to her counterpart's awakening. The feminine's rising is not loud or dramatic. It is quiet, steady, and undeniable. It is seen in the way she refuses to shrink back into old wounds. It is seen in the way she creates balance in her daily life, honors her body, listens to her intuition, and chooses peace over chaos. This is her true power. This is the proof that she is no longer the same as before. What the eclipse has revealed to the feminine is clear. She can no longer wait passively, nor can she carry the whole weight of the connection. She must rise into herself, pass the spiritual tests before her, and become the version of herself that is already whole. When she does, union is no longer a distant hope, but a natural result of her alignment. This is the chapter of her becoming, and it is unfolding now, whether she feels ready or not. While the feminine is being called to rise through inner purification and faith, the masculine is facing his own initiation, one that is often less visible, but just as intense. The eclipse and the new moon in Virgo have placed the masculine under enormous pressure, shaking the structures he thought were unbreakable, and exposing the parts of his life that no longer align with his soul. For many masculines, this season feels like standing in the middle of an earthquake while everything around them begins to fall apart. The masculine has, for a long time, relied on external stability. His sense of worth has often been tied to what he can build, achieve, or control in the material world. He wears the mask of responsibility, strength, and certainty. Yet beneath it, there are doubts, fears, and wounds he rarely allows to surface. The eclipse energy is stripping away that mask. It is forcing him to confront the reality that the life he has built may not reflect his true self. Careers, relationships, commitments, and even self-identities are under review. Spirit is saying, you can no longer hide behind this shell. This breaking process is not gentle. It can come as sudden loss, unexpected conflict, financial pressure, or deep emotional restlessness. What once felt safe no longer feels tolerable. The masculine may feel trapped, but the truth is that the walls are cracking because his soul refuses to stay confined. He is being asked to recognize the difference between duty and destiny, between survival and purpose. One of the heaviest burdens the masculine carries is the fear of failure. To admit that a life path, relationship, or identity no longer works feels like weakness to him. Yet this is the exact illusion that Virgo's energy is dismantling. True strength is not in pretending everything is fine. True strength is in surrendering to truth, even if it destroys the image he has projected for years. The eclipse amplifies this by creating situations where he can no longer maintain the old story. Lies collapse, facades break, and what remains is the raw self, vulnerable but real. This process also affects his connection with the feminine. For many masculines, the deep pull toward their counterpart becomes undeniable during these cosmic shifts. Even if he tries to resist, signs and synchronicities follow him. Dreams bring her image, conversations mirror her presence, and silence feels heavier than ever before. The more he runs, the more spirit corners him with reminders that the bond cannot be erased. Yet, stepping toward her requires breaking through layers of fear, guilt, and unworthiness that have kept him distant. The masculine is also experiencing physical and emotional symptoms of this transformation. Sleepless nights, sudden mood swings, bursts of anger followed by waves of sadness. These are not random. They are indicators of the internal war between the old shell and the emerging self. Some masculines may even feel pulled to isolate, retreat, or disconnect from the world as they attempt to process what is happening. This isolation is not rejection, it is incubation. Spirit is giving them the space to break quietly so they can eventually rise stronger. The breaking of the shell is not a single moment, but a process. It happens in layers, like peeling away armor that has been worn for too long. With each crack, more light enters. With each breakdown, more truth emerges. The masculine may resist, but eventually resistance becomes exhausting, and surrender becomes the only way forward. The important truth here is that this breaking is not meant to destroy him, but to liberate him. The shell served a purpose. It protected him when he was not ready to face himself. But now, Spirit is saying he no longer needs protection. He needs authenticity. He needs to step into the man his soul has always known him to be. For the feminine observing this, it may feel frustrating to see him struggling, resisting, or even pulling away. Yet it is vital to remember that this breaking cannot be rushed. Just as a seed must crack open before it can sprout, the masculine must endure his own breaking to step into growth. The timing belongs to spirit, not to force. This is the moment when the masculine's outer life begins to mirror his inner truth. As the shell breaks, his choices will start shifting. He will no longer tolerate the false. He will begin seeking what feels real, even if it means leaving behind the life he thought he was supposed to live. And in that seeking, the path toward union becomes clearer, not because he is perfect, but because he is finally authentic. The eclipse has one purpose for the masculine: to dismantle what is false so that the true self can emerge. And though the breaking, shaking feels like loss, it is the beginning of his rebirth. When powerful cosmic alignments unfold, the human body and spirit are not passive observers. They react, they absorb, they recalibrate, And during this solar eclipse and new moon in Virgo, the Twin Flame Collective is experiencing a wave of signs and symptoms that confirm the activation is real. These signs may feel confusing or even overwhelming at times, but they are proof that the universe is working directly through you, tuning your being to resonate with a higher frequency. The first and most common sign is a sudden surge of physical sensitivity. Many are feeling exhaustion that no amount of sleep seems to cure. Others describe bursts of energy that appear without warning, followed by deep crashes that force rest. Headaches, pressure around the third eye, ringing in the ears, changes in appetite, and even unusual body aches are being reported across the collective. These are not illnesses to fear, but adjustments taking place as the nervous system integrates the new codes released through the eclipse. Your body is learning to hold more light, and the process can feel draining as old density leaves. Dreams are also louder during this season. The eclipse thins the veil between dimensions, making the subconscious more active. Many twin flames are experiencing vivid dreams of their counterpart, encounters that feel too real to dismiss, or symbolic visions that speak directly to their soul path. Some wake up with emotions that linger throughout the day, as if the dream has bled into waking reality. This is not coincidence. Spirit uses dreams to deliver messages that the conscious mind might reject. Pay attention to the recurring themes, faces, and locations. They are guiding you. Emotionally, the symptoms are just as intense. Waves of sadness may rise suddenly, as though grief you thought was gone has returned. Bursts of anger or frustration may appear without a clear trigger. Moments of deep longing for your counterpart may strike in the middle of ordinary routines. At times, the emotions may not even feel like yours. That is because the twin flame connection works on an energetic grid, and during activations, you may be feeling not only your process, but also the reflections of your counterpart's journey. The eclipse amplifies this exchange, making the bond undeniable. Another symptom many are reporting is a heightened sensitivity to the environment. Crowds feel heavier, noises sharper, and energy in certain places almost unbearable. This is because your field is being refined, filtering what is aligned and what is not. Spirit is training you to recognize resonance. If something feels draining now, it is a sign to step back. If something feels expansive, it is a sign to lean in. Your inner compass is being fine-tuned, and ignoring it will only bring more discomfort. Synchronicities also accelerate during eclipse portals. Numbers repeat constantly. Songs play at the exact right moment. Strangers speak words that mirror your inner dialogue, and signs connected to your counterpart appear in impossible ways. These synchronicities are not accidents. They are Spirit's way of saying, pay attention. The path is unfolding exactly as it should. During an activation, synchronicities act as anchors, pulling you back to trust whenever the mind tries to wander into doubt. Some will also feel separation symptoms more strongly, a sudden silence from your counterpart, a feeling of being pushed away, or a physical distance that seems harder to bear. Yet this too is part of the activation. Separation energy often intensifies right before a leap in union energy. Spirit uses the gap to refine both souls individually so that when they move closer, it is with greater alignment. What feels like distance is actually preparation. Finally, one of the most profound signs of the eclipse activation is the inner knowing that something has shifted forever. Even if nothing external looks different yet, the soul senses that a line has been crossed. You may feel more detached from old cycles, more disinterested in things that once consumed your energy, and more focused on truth above all else. This quiet knowing is the clearest sign of all. Your vibration has changed, and because of that, your reality must eventually change too. The key during this chapter of symptoms is not to fear them, but to honor them. Rest when your body demands it. Write down the dreams that move you. Follow the nudges that synchronicities bring. Allow the emotions to rise and release without judgment. These signs are not here to confuse you. They are here to confirm that you are in the center of a divine recalibration, and every sensation is a marker of progress. The eclipse is speaking to you through your body, your heart, your dreams, and your daily life. And if you listen, you will realize that nothing happening now is random. Every sign is a code. Every symptom is an initiation. Every shift is proof that you are walking the exact path your soul chose long before you arrived here. The eclipse and the new moon in Virgo were never meant to simply disrupt your life. Their true purpose is to prepare you to walk forward with courage and clarity into the next chapter of your twin flame journey. After the storms of endings, the pressure of truth, the tests of the feminine, the breaking of the masculine, and the undeniable signs of activation, what remains is a choice. How will you walk through the portal that has opened before you? Union is not just about two people finding their way back to each other. It is the merging of two souls who have chosen to rise beyond fear, illusion, and ego. This process requires both courage and clarity. Courage, because the path will always test you in ways that demand strength you did not know you had. Clarity, because without vision, it is easy to fall back into old cycles and repeat the same lessons again. The universe is now offering you both, but it asks for your willingness to step forward. Courage begins with surrender. Many resist this word, thinking surrender means giving up or losing control. But in truth, surrender is the most powerful act you can embody. It is the decision to stop forcing timelines, to stop clinging to outcomes, to stop bargaining with spirit. It is the willingness to trust that what is yours cannot be lost, and what is leaving was never meant to stay. In the context of union, surrender means letting go of fear that your counterpart will not awaken, and instead anchoring the knowing that their soul is on its exact path. And so is yours. Clarity comes from inner alignment. The new moon in Virgo has cleared illusions and forced truth to the surface. This is your moment to define with precision what you will carry forward. What habits, stories, and energies are you leaving behind? What vision of yourself and your life are you committed to embodying? Clarity is not just knowing you desire union. It is knowing who you are becoming in the process. Union cannot be built on confusion. It thrives when both counterparts step forward as their most authentic selves. The courage and clarity you embody now ripple into your counterpart. The twin flame journey is not about convincing the other to change, but about shifting your own vibration so profoundly that the connection cannot remain in its old form. Every time you choose love over fear, patience over desperation, truth over illusion, you transmit that energy to your counterpart. Spirit uses your alignment as a signal. a code that awakens the bond on both sides. Walking into union also requires a new relationship with time. The eclipse teaches that divine timing is not your enemy. Every delay, every pause, every season of silence has purpose. Many of you are tempted to ask when it will happen, but the deeper question is how you are preparing yourself while it unfolds. The clearer your focus on your own healing growth and alignment, the smoother the path becomes. Union is not waiting for you at some distant finish line. It is being built with every choice you make in the present. This stage of the journey also calls for balance between faith and action. Faith without grounded steps leaves you drifting in hope. Action without faith leaves you chasing and exhausting yourself. Together, they create momentum that aligns you with your soul path. Take the practical steps that Spirit places before you: healing, creating, setting boundaries, embracing purpose, and pair them with unwavering trust that the universe is orchestrating everything beyond your view. This is how courage and clarity merge into power. It is important to remember that walking into union does not mean perfection. Both the feminine and the masculine will still have moments of doubt, fear, and hesitation. But perfection was never the requirement. Authenticity is. The more real you are with yourself, the more real your connection becomes. The more you release masks, the more your counterpart is freed to do the same. Union happens not when two perfect beings meet, but when two authentic souls decide to rise together. The eclipse portal is closing, but its work within you continues. You are not meant to step out of this energy unchanged. You are meant to walk forward lighter, stronger, clearer, and braver than before. Spirit has shown you what cannot continue. It has revealed where illusions must die. It has confirmed that your path is real. Now the choice is yours. Will you walk into union with courage, trusting that nothing can stop what is divinely aligned? Will you carry clarity, refusing to return to the cycles that once held you captive? If you can answer yes, then you have already crossed the threshold. This is the truth of union. It is not a destination waiting in the future. It is a frequency you are choosing right now. And by choosing it, you open the door for everything else to fall into place.